You remember that, and inshallah, in your marriage, you will never go astray. I say this because Allah would always give the absolute, and I say this without, any sort of holdbacks or hesitation. Allah would always give you the absolute results, the absolute answer in the Quran. And it says there in Surah Rum, verse 30-21, that Allah has brought you together to attain tranquility. But to do that, there must be what? Love and mercy between you. So the truth is, what is love? So again, I would like to ask you, brother, what is love? Tell me, what is love to you? Are you hearing for the, you're not hearing for the first time now. So what is love? Love means you're a 419 brother. I know that you've never said that until today. Okay, you laughed most at him. So tell me, brother, what is love? Love is everything. Even in even beating is love. Well, mind you, there are some people in an abusive relationship that will tell you that if they are not beaten, they don't feel loved. And we're going to talk about some of these things, right? So, but now let's hear from the sisters. Who hasn't spoken? You haven't spoken, sister. You have. I don't remember you speaking, so speak again. What is love? What does love mean to you? You like watching lovely movies or all these, I don't want romance movies, Z World, Telemundo. We know them. Oh yeah, tell us, what is love? I like that. Love is a complex emotion. Idaya, what is love? Love is peace. What is love? You're a coach, she's a 419 sister. Oh no! What is love? Okay, she said love is an affection between people. It might be two, it might be more than two. The truth is that love, somebody said, a complex emotion. Yes, it is. But love is not emotion alone. Love is actually an action. And we're going to get to where we discuss about love in marriages, our concept, our misconception about love, and how it actually leads to either the foundation or the break of a home. I'm looking at sisters a lot. It's not like the brothers don't know what love is. They are one-way traffic, right? We are the ones with that multiple connection. If I watch this in Z World, then I watch it in Telemundo, and I watch it in Hollywood movies, then it must be love. Aunties, sisters, what you watch is for entertainment purpose only. What did I say? Entertainment purpose only. And it lasts 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 42 minutes. If you are lucky, they keep twisting it. They will bring evil parts, twist you. Wait, wait, wait. They'll tell you Indian love self after 42 years, the love is still there. Please, all those are somebody's imagination of what love is. Love is not a feeling, love is an action. And inshallah, we're going to be proving it. Can we have the next slide, please? So let's come back to vital definitions. Hold it there. What is emotion? The brother in white. Timmy, what is emotion? I didn't hear that. Emotion is what you feel. The brother that laughed at Timmy at the back, what is emotion? Yes, ma. What is emotion? What does emotions mean to you when you hear the word emotion? What is it? When you are emotional and it jams you, it becomes emotional. There's no question of emotion. The sister at the back in black, what is emotion? Yes, you. Yeah. That thing you are feeling at that moment, yes, brother. This brother is a lover brother. Oh. He's always happy. Look. I'm feeling your vibes. Don't mind him. Don't mind him. Talk to me. What is emotions?
Emotion is can one. It's a thing that you cannot even quantify. You understand? What are all share of your personal life. So you can't even say this is, 1 minute you are all there, feeling too good, feeling too when the vibes are very positive. But if the other way around, it's going to be a killer bomber.
So beautiful. Can you hit the slide? Next. Okay.
I think there's a problem here. I think why don't you just say exactly how they see it, not what they think you want to get.
It's not what. So you came in late, right? There is no wrong. No, now don't be a hater now, brother. Kilo day. No, don't be a hater. And when I asked you to tell us what emotion is, you didn't tell me half of what he said, though. No. You said your own is a motor jamming. But he took us to how he felt. He said sometimes you feel it high, sometimes you feel it low, right? And that is emotions. Where's the brother with my slide? So, but can we see what is there? Yes. No, it's fine. It's fine. So, emotion is a complex experience that encompasses consciousness, bodily sensations, behaviors, reflecting the personal significance of events or states of affairs. Like that brother said, something can happen at this moment. It makes you are feeling so elated, you're feeling like you are in cloud nine, and the very next second you get a news, a different experience, and the feeling what changes on you. Let's see next. What is intelligence? You know you're sitting next to me now, so tell me, what is intelligence? Intelligence.
What you think something should be, how it's perceived or what perception you are saying that thing. That's
Intelligence. The brother with the mic. What is intelligence? You will participate, don't worry. It's not just for passing mic.
I think intelligence is a measure of person cognitive ability.
Beautiful. So ability, cognitive ability, the measure of it, which is exactly what intelligence quotient is, as she said. Can you hit the slide? Let's see what intelligence is. The sister who hit the slide, can you read to us what intelligence is? The mental capacity to what? To apply knowledge and skills. Now, take that from where we talked about emotions being a complex what? Experience. Then intelligence. I'm trying to get to where our emotional intelligence is. So from that emotions, it's a complex experience. You cannot control it. Your husband just calls you now and tells you, I have a surprise for you outside. You're outside. At a moment in time, it's a complex experience of an event that has occurred. That is not intelligence. It has nothing to do with he's this or he's that, or he just insulted me this morning, or he slapped me this morning. No. At that moment in time, an event occurred that shaped how you felt emotions, right? Intelligence, your capacity. Now this comes from you. How do you apply the knowledge and skills? Sometimes our children will do things, and the first thing at your age, I don't expect this of you. Are you, because you expect that at that person's level of growth or development, they ought to have acquired intelligence that tells them or that informs how they should act or what they should do, right? Hit the slide, please. What, therefore, is emotional intelligence? Halima. Wa alaikum salam.
how you think, the way you place
Okay, how you think, the way you feel it, and the way you approach people. Brother, emotional intelligence. Sefini, the brother next to him, Salam alaikum, emotional intelligence. What does it mean to you? Oh, so he just did two and two. If emotion is talking about complex experience, intelligence is talking about capacity. So your capacity, and in a very layman sense, your capacity to what? Control your emotions. Can you hit the slide? So emotional intelligence, therefore, is defined as your ability, that capacity to identify, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as what? The emotions of others. Because at every point in time, it is not about you alone. Once you're interacting with someone else, it is not about you alone. So all that, I don't care what somebody says, I don't care who I am, I don't care who is there, I will act like a madman. You are just mad, you know. But when you realize that there is a third party out there, there is somebody else out there, when you realize that it's not about you alone. Yes, this thing makes you feel good. Did you ever consider how it made the other person feel? So you just want to react. And I'm using the word very, very, very carefully. You want to react the way that you feel. So let's play back that husband gives you the G-Wagon. So this morning, before you left home, you have already insulted him, called him all the names that you know, Olori, Ibu, all of that. And then now he gives you a vehicle. If he was supposed to act or react based on that action of in the morning, in spite of the fact that he didn't just buy that G-Wagon, he's supposed to present it to you. Perhaps not, right? But then I'm still going to tell you some secrets between how a woman acts and how a man acts. Inshallah, all of that will be seen as we go further. Can we hit the slide? So one thing that we should also know is that emotions they are usually automatic. Sometimes you can't fake it, right? You can try to mask it, but you can't fake it. A baby giggles at you, automatically you do what? You giggle back. When I was sitting out there, some people passed by, they said, Assalamu alaikum. If I smiled, they automatically smiled back at me. Some because somebody told them to. And that's the thing about emotions. We are all like mirror images of the people that we meet. If your wife comes back, or if your husband comes back from home, no matter the day he has had, just stay and smile at him. See, even by my smile, some people are already smiling back at me, right? So no matter the terrible day he's had, that smile is provoking an unconscious automatic reaction for him to what? Smile back. But if he comes back mad from work and you don't take that initiation to initiate that act to even create a smile on his face, and he brings that anger home, no matter the good day that you have had, the way he will answer you, you'll be like, Ijati Bereo, you came back, I'm saying Salaam alaikum, you say, am I the one you're saying, to? And then your day is automatically spoiled, right? So, our capacity as human beings, and remember, Allah has created all other creations. But you know who is going to put to test? We human beings. Why? Because he has given us that thinking capacity to be able to what? Understand, control, and influence the other person's emotions. So don't think that you are not responsible. You are responsible for yourself as well as others every time of the day, at every second of your life. So whatever it is you're doing, please, all that ridiculous notions you read on WhatsApp, social media, they are not nuggets of wisdoms. Somebody can just wake up, have an inspiration from alcohol. He writes it down on his page, and the next thing you are quoting him. Do you imagine what you have quoted? You have quoted somebody who is not in his senses. Or a lady is heartbroken. Based on that relationship, that experience that she has, she comes and she quotes something ridiculous on her page, how men are humongous, they are horrible, they are these, they are all heartbreakers, they are players. Yoruba men are devil, demons, what they call them again, Yoruba demons. And then you in your right senses, you wake up, you read it, and then you adapt it. What have you just done? You have borrowed somebody's. That's not even a validation, is that you have used it to destroy your own. So the thing is, we must be able to discern, and that ability to discern is actually what emotional intelligence is. So I would like to stand at this point in time, right? Where does emotions come from? Where? Yes, ma'am? Because you see the brain here, right? Before now, where did you think emotions came from? From your heart. Emotions don't come from the heart. But the brain tells the heart actually how to react. Emotions, the brain of emotions, is controlled by what we call the limbic system. If you're an art student, please forgive me. I really need to break this down. And this system, like any system, is a complex of the pituitary gland, hypothalamus, the thalamus, also embedded in what we call the limbic cortex, the hippocampus, and the amygdala. These four must act together in certain manners to help your reaction. This is here. And they control those four things: your emotions, your behaviors, your motivation, and your memory. What the amygdala does is to process that information. What does it mean? He hit me. What does it mean? She says I'm stupid. What does it mean? Mind you, this is not about spouses alone. It might even be a little baby. The mother scolds her. She has been potty trained, taught not to what? Wet her pants. And the first day the mother doesn't wear diapers for her, she wears the pants. The mom looks at her and says, Nadia, you are naughty. You think she doesn't know what that means? So the amygdala starts to process that information. Where have I heard of it before? Who has said this to me before? What does this mean? So it's sending the message to the brain. Interpret this for me, please, because I'm confused. What does this mean? The hippocampus jumps on board. The hippocampus is responsible. Remember, this one has processed it. The hippocampus is responsible for storing it for future reference. And this is where your wife will come and tell you, Shebi, you did this 5 years ago. Just watching you. Shebi, you did this when we were dating 10 years ago. Shey, you did this the other day. So our hippocampus is very strong. We are storing that information. We have processed it, we are storing it. The next is the hypothalamus, which is responsible for the reaction. It is that hypothalamus that connects with your heart. That's what controls the reaction. So feelings don't come from the heart, they come from the brain. But before that reaction, it must have processed that information, it must have stored it to memory, then react. And finally, you have the cortex, the thalamus, where what controls what? Regulation. How much should you react? He slapped me. Should I slap him back? Should I walk away? Or like the Christians will say, if they slap you and you do what? You turn the other side for another slap, right? So all of these go into controlling what emotions are and how you feel them and how you interpret them. Sometimes it's so confusing. I thought I was doing something, but this man has interpreted it the wrong way. Okay? So if as a child, every time your father came back from work, that's when you hear ghost bats in the family, you are expecting it from your husband. So even when your husband comes home peacefully and is like, honey, sweetheart, you're wondering, where is the punch? When the punch doesn't come, your memory is telling you, perhaps something is wrong. Because nobody has told you what is right. So the way we process information, the things we store about those information, how we react, it is a conscious subconsciousness. So it will control how we react next time that same action is brought upon us. So you are not confused. But like I said, it's a complex state. Many things go to play. So of course, if a baby comes and smiles at you, you don't think that that baby is trying to toast you. But if a grown man starts smiling at you, your brain is wondering, for what reason? Why is he smiling at me? Do I know him from Adam? So the first thing you do was first show him your hand. Please, I'm married. You look away. Do you understand? So your brain is interpreting and trying to process that information at the same time, trying to regulate how you react. And that is why they said, do not react immediately. When something happens, take a pause. Give your brain that time to do what? To process it, to store it, and regulate how what that reaction comes out. Sometimes you watch people on the ground, you hear what they call pent-up emotions. They are not pent-up emotions. They are pent-up reactions. So many things have been happening. Somebody has done this again, they have done this again, they have done this again, you have never reacted, and your brain just feels like it wants to explode. So emotions actually come from the brain. And how much we teach our brain, how much we process that information is very, very key to how we control or how we process our emotional intelligence. Next slide, please. So, unlocking emotional intelligence, right? That's the topic, and we're still on it. Okay, permit me to also stand at this point. To unlock your emotional intelligence, three things must be at play. A mad person cannot be emotionally intelligent because they cannot be what? Aware. So three things: your awareness, your reasoning, and the action you take tells how emotionally intelligent you are. Your awareness, your reasoning, and the action. That awareness is to say, somebody has done something to me. What do I do? At this point in time, you are thinking. Now, a lot of people get it wrong here, especially with sisters. You know, we are the ones now. You now carry your phone. I'm calling my mom. You carry your phone. I'm calling my sister. You carry your phone. I'm calling my best friend. Well, if you are not lucky, and the person you called is also as emotionally not intelligent as you are, you now have two dumb brains got into zero. And definitely that action you will take at the end of the day might just be what would destroy or what will make that matter worse. So the first thing about the awareness, you must first be able to recognize and express your emotions. How do I feel? What are my emotions? Can you talk to yourself? Can you recognize what it is when you're getting angry? Brothers, I must tell you at this point in time, we sisters have the, madness that comes every month, right? There's no common sense there. Your hormones are just acting up. They are all over the place. Please don't expect sisters to be sensible at that point in time. I say, oh, is that okay, sorry. Let me tell you a funny story. So I was experiencing one of these crazy moments a few months ago, not right? And so I just wanted to annoy my husband. I needed him to feel as frustrated as I was feeling or as pained as I was feeling, And then I went to the sitting room first. I checked where he usually drops his shoes. I still put his shoes the right way so I can find what to actually tackle him on. His shoes were put properly. I said, oh, Allah has saved him. I went to the room. Has he done this? Has he done that? Allah has saved him on everything. So I angrily walked into the room. And then Allah just sent one, what's it called? A wasp. All those blue-eyed wasps. And it was flying boldly in my room. And me, in my house, the only living creatures are comfortable in my house. You see flies, ants, mosquitoes, cockroaches, spiders, any other living thing, stay outside if you want peace. So when I saw it, I first took my insecticide. I flickered it down. My husband was watching me. And I went, as if it was not dead enough. I took my slippers. It was dying a slow death. And I took my slippers and I smashed it. Pa, 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 pa. My, that emotion was not yet satisfied. I wanted to kill it some more. It was dead. You can see the body disintegrating. I took it and I hit it more. Pa. In fact, I killed the spirit, the soul, anything. Can never come back to life. And then my husband was like, what did this insect ever do to you? And I said, he's a man. My husband just looked. Like when I think back to it, I can't even imagine that. I can't, I mean, there's nothing but madness, about this, right? Like, who does that? But guess what? No, there's no common sense at the moment. So then, after I cleaned it up, I now went to meet him. I was not yet done. And I now said, So he said, please, what do you want? I said, you didn't even say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. My husband looked at me and said, come. What I have to say is, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. And then he started laughing. But, that awareness, I knew what was wrong. I really was struggling and fighting to get it together, right? And at that moment in time, you don't have time to be thinking for somebody else, But if you have trained yourself over time, it is somewhere there, latent in your memory, and it's telling you that, babe, you are going overboard, though. Look for where to go and vent this frustration of yours, whatever it is. But then, alhamdulillah, like it happens to the best of us, really. It does happen to the best of us. So awareness of yourself and your emotions, you take note of it. If you're that kind of person like me, God bless you if you're a man, you are my enemy when that time of the period of the month comes. Don't even call, don't say hello, don't say salam, just day your day. Then you will not now be, Allah will not be merciful to you. You now come and tell me, you're pretty. Subhanallah, I will unleash on you. You will not even know what you did wrong, right? So you need to be able to understand your emotions, how you feel, what ticks you, what makes you go. And unfortunately, a madman on the street cannot provoke you. It is the ones that you love. If you're married, it is definitely your spouse that is that ticking button in you. But what would they say to tick that button in you? You need to know. If it is your wife that's ticking that button in you, that is pushing you to that edge, you need to know at what point in time she gets that way. If it is your husband that is pushing you, you need to know at what point in time he gets that way. You say, oh, he's broke. They have not yet paid salary. Or, oh, he's broke. Money is not coming in the business. Men, once they don't have money, their own madness has started, right? So you must understand your emotions. That is the awareness. Then you must understand your spouse's emotions. You must also help them understand their emotions. Sometimes, this thing I'm saying, a lot of women don't realize it, that week that precedes your period, for some people, that's your madness week. For some people, it's on the day your period starts to 3 days into it, right? But it differs. For some people, it's even after. But you must first be able to understand that, then understand that of your spouses. If you have that kind of wife, if she has irregular menstruation, if she has delayed menstruation, see, women have many bodily problems. You must help her understand. You must help to understand what she's going through. Just, even if you don't understand it, just say, honey, I understand what you're going through, or just like some people, just stay away. That's the day you want to go and visit Brother Suleiman. The next day, say, oh, I'm going to visit Brother Damole. The day after that, I'm going to go and visit Brother Abdullah. So just give them that space if you're not able to manage it. But the first thing you have to do is awareness. The second is the reasoning. You need to move that forward. The reasoning entails your decision making, how you make the decision. So now you understand your emotions, you understand your spouse's emotions. What do you do? That is the decision making. And it helps you to do what? Manage your emotions. So that stage where you understand your own emotions, I term that phase. Sorry, your system has locked, it's gone off though. So I term that phase the emotional maturity phase. When you are able to understand your feelings, understand your emotions, and articulate it, you can now be called emotionally mature. I would not expect a baby of 5 years old to articulate how they are feeling. They try. Say, what is wrong with you? And you say, Mommy, I want ice cream. And as you're going to get the ice cream, you say, no, I want pizza. As you're going to get the pizza, you say, I've remembered now, I want chocolate. Right? They're confused about their feelings. At that point in time, even if you give them bread and butter, they'll collect, they'll be satisfied, they'll walk away. When that child is a teenager, they think, I know it all. And some do, some mature quite early. So that emotional maturity of understanding and knowing what you feel and what it is about yourself, you're emotionally mature. When you start to understand your spouse's feelings, we say you are emotionally perceptive. When you're able to understand and control the emotions of others, I see his face frowning. I know that that's an anger face. When he's frowning, I don't think he's smiling. You know how they used to say that our parents will give us that look. When you see the face of your mothers, then you know. Now you look at the child and the child will come and ask, Mommy, emotional resilience phase. That irrespective of what comes, you are telling yourself, I will stand here. This marriage, oh, we are in it together. This marriage, oh, I am here because I have decided to be in it. That is your emotional resilience phase. It is when you have gotten to that point that you can now what? Regulate all of those emotions. You can say you are now what? Emotionally intelligent. So it has its phases. And even in the growth of a human being, I told you, you see, before age 25, and all of that research now you can find out, a human's brain is not fully mature to be able to become emotionally intelligent. So you can get away with many things, right? That you think it's intelligent, is based on your brain. But I guarantee you, it's not your brain work. Before age 25, the human brain is not fully formed. So you have 25 years of trying and failing before you can even talk about being emotionally intelligent. So if you have a wife that is less than 25, Timmy, if you have a wife that is less than 25, please pardon her. She is not emotionally intelligent. Don't mind Timmy. I already promised him, right, that we're going to do this. Umu, you know that. Okay. So, at 25, right, anybody above 25, that is still misbehaving, and I call that misbehavior because they ought to know at that stage. They have neglected to understand, monitor, regulate, take critical decisions by themselves. You begin to say that something is wrong with that person somewhere. So where it is school, they will say repeat the class. So if at that stage you are still confused about your emotions, you are confused about the emotions of other people, because this thing would help you even in your workplace, even with your friends, even with your siblings. I'm a twin, my twin brother and I fight. Nobody tells you that if you are a twin, therefore you must think alike and be alike. No. So if you're 25 years of age and you do not know how to react and respond with intention, with discipline, please seek help. There is something wrong with you. If you are not yet 25, you are still lucky. You are still very lucky. That means there's still room for improvement. Okay, next slide, please. First question, stop there. So I have this question. I want us to rewrite the blame. Now we're going to take some activities. So this is a blame statement, and I'll start this with the brothers. Your wife comes to you and says, "You never understand how I feel. You just shut down every time I'm upset." You know, brothers are not very good at articulating their emotions, right? So when their wives are trying to say something, they just what? They just lock up. When their spouses are trying to speak to them, they're trying to connect with them, they just what? They lock up. And it works for some part of the time, but for the best part of the time, most part of the time, it actually doesn't help your relationships. But why? It is the way the woman has framed what she wants to say. I told the brothers before coming for this program, I said, so when the brother came to tell me, he said, "We need you to do this program, blah, 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 blah." They know they've been trying, and my husband has been giving them the top one. So he says, "Are you sure? Are you sure she could let you come?" I said, "Don't worry. She'll be a mimi. I know what to say to him." So when she came, I didn't just tell him, "Oh, I've been invited to come." And I said, "No." I said, "Listen," I said, "Honey, you know what? Do you know how it would be? They just put my name there, Aziza Mohammed Adangba. Then you too, you are showing Sheikh Abdurrahman Adangba doing your own lecture." By the time I was done whining him, he said, "Oh, that's cool. Go, 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 go." If anybody repeats this to my husband, you're on your own. But you know, it's about how you say it. Now, this can be said, what you're trying to communicate here can be said better for a better reaction, or to help the spouse understand what you want to say. Communicate better. Uncle Suleiman, how would you rewrite this blame statement? "You never understand how I feel. You just shut down every time I'm upset." Hey, you are helping me. They said discussion style. Is it the I've talked to Omo, I've talked to everybody here.
To rephrase
it. Yes. How would you, okay, so if your wife wanted to, if doctor wanted to say this to you, how would you rather she said this to you?
Listen, let me explain.
Okay, doctor, how would you say this to your sweetheart? "You never understand how I feel. You just shut down every time I'm upset." Nice. "I have some things to say, and I'll be happy if you listen to me." You know that when in all the movies, you just see the girl come and say, "We need to talk." His heart is beating. The next thing is what? Break up. The next, please. Tap the slide. Okay. So an emotionally intelligent rewrite, you know, Even when she says, I would like you to come, listen, we need to talk, I feel alone and misunderstood when my emotions are not acknowledged. Women are emotionally connected, emotionally, whatever, all the time. If you do not connect, you see how all those guys used to get the babes when we were in secondary school. They used to be smooth talkers. If they can smooth talk a woman, oh wow, they got all the girls, all the guys that were smooth talkers. No matter how fine the guy is, they cannot smooth talk a girl. 0 for him, right? I would feel comforted if we could talk about them together. Did you hear what doctor said? That second part. If we can talk about them together, then you start talking. And this is why I'm not happy when a lot of brothers are comforted with, they just finished BSc and that's it. You need to know. It's your position to know in the house. See, it's part of your manhood to know. If you do not know and you cannot teach your wife, the respect will be hard to come by. I'm saying this because I'm not sure how many people are going to say this to you. When your wife wants to do something, it's a beautiful thing when she can look to you and guide her. But if you do not know, how can you guide her? It's not about being the richest between the both of you. It's not even being about being the oldest or being the most muscular. It's about knowing. You need to know. That money is not everything, You make all the money finish. One woman will come and use it. Yeah. That money not buy you pride. The next, so we have another one. It's like in conflicts and arguments. You want to say to your husband, you always make everything a big deal. You are so dramatic. Your husband is saying this to you. You always make everything a big deal. You are so dramatic. How would you rather your husband said this to you? You always make everything a big deal. You're so dramatic.
You're always upside. Can't you just lose him?
Okay. You're always dramatic. Everything's such a big deal. Brother, how would you rather say this to your wife? I can't see her Abu here. I will have asked him. He has run away. We know them. How would you rather say this to your spouse? Yes, I want you to say it better. Okay, so you tell her that. Yeah, I've not spoken in my car. So how would you say this to your spouse? You always make everything such a big deal. You're so dramatic. You want to communicate this to her. What would you say? You're a smooth talker. We know you. All those text messages you used to those days. Say it to your spouse now. What would you rather say to her? It's not on the board, and I've said it. You make everything such a big deal. You're so dramatic. How else would you say it? I'm sorry? Let's try and not be too dramatic. Can somebody hit the slide for me? Let's try and not be too dramatic. Okay. To say, when a discussion into arguments, I handle calmly and respectfully. Let's handle things calmly and respectfully. You don't need to be shouting so that all the neighbors will know that we're having an argument over a pot of rice or how many meat in this stew or whatever the argument is, right? Okay, next slide. Intelligence. And now, this is part of today's, well, all the best part, or at least one of the best parts, are the fallacies, because a lot of us are abusing brains about a lot of these things. Battle of the sexes. Somebody even said that this morning to me. Men versus women. It's a family feud. It's men against women. It is true, marriage is a battleground, but you are on the same team. You're fighting against the shaitan. And I say this because your husband is, you're not fighting. What's the essence if you're fighting your husband? Right? But together you should fight him against Shaitan, the accursed one. Shaitan doesn't need to go, he doesn't go to the clubs to meet those couples. Fight. People who will say, oh, we dated, we were a couple for 18 years, then we got married and in 6 months. Because we are on earth, right? So if you're from Mars, you're from Venus, I don't want an alien. I'm talking about earth. And so by the time you have that notion in your mind, you think you're married to an alien. So from the onset, you are waiting for that alien to show his true colors. You are waiting for that alien to show her true colors. Because all the movies you have been watching, look, you are a product of what you feed your soul. The things you watch, the things you read, the things you listen to, every nonsensical, every music these days just puts all those nonsensical messages in your head. And they're reinforced by what you feed your eyes and mind with from the social media. Some of these evils have been going on for time immemorial. But the world is now a global village. Internet has made it so easy for you to see devices that are happening in Asia, for you to know devices that are happening in America, for you to know devices that are happening in Saudi Arabia, and all over the world, and vice versa. So, men are not from Mars, neither are women from Venus, but certain things are true in our genetic makeup. That women are more emotional, and men are more intellectual. So in school, in the engineering classes, in the maths and computer science, you see mostly men and you see a few women, right? In build, there are some things, anything that has to do with a lot of intellectual work, you see men are attracted to it. And then women are very emotional. No matter how much she is, show her, give her one rose, go on your knee, give her chocolate, and she has forgotten every ill that you have done. Tomorrow you repeat it again. You come back and say, oh, my darling, my honey, the only sugar in my tea, the only apple in my garden. And she's falling again. So there are things that are factual. It is true that women are more susceptible to their emotions and men are more intellectual. And because they are more intellectual, you see that brain, that complex system of the brain, it is also, we are the ones. The men don't understand that. It's just one part of that brain. All of those have been what? Metal down. That pituitary gland that I didn't talk about is the one that actually sends the hormones that tells you what to do in a situation. That when you see somebody with a gun, you can never say, oh, I want to hug him, he has a gun. No! What does your brain tell you? Flee! That when you're walking in the middle of the night, you now see one beautifully cooked food in the middle of the street. No matter how pretty it looks like, your brain will tell you to go and eat it. That complex system, that limbic system comes together to say, danger. We watch it in Yoruba film that is a sacrifice to the gods. Don't eat it, oh, you will die. So, it is true that women are a lot more emotional. So that pituitary gland is the one that secretes the hormones, and we have a lot of it in abundance. But the men, they don't have too many. They only have that particular one, that testosterone, that makes them, I'm the alpha and omega. I'm masculine. When your son starts having it at age 13, his voice is cracking. He's already sounding like daddy. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a bit of estrogen. You see some men having breasts, right? or having feminine features is because the estrogen hormones in them, the progesterone in them, had gone a little bit higher than it's supposed to be. But what those hormones are supposed to do in your system, give you a bit of touch with the what? Emotions. So that if you are attuned to it, you can have a bit of understanding of what your wives or your spouses are feeling. And also in women, you have a bit of testosterone in you that gives you what? That factor of common sense that makes you not to depend on your emotions alone, but you are able to act from a point of mental capacity and acuity. Another thing I will tell you about men and women, we are not from Mars, neither are you from Venus. But it is easy for women. Women forgive, but they don't forget. You see, in the brain, that hypothalamus is keeping it for you. In future, you do it again, they'll remind you, but they are forgiving you, right? But a man forgets, but he never forgives. And that is why, yes, that is why you cannot hear that a woman cheated and the man still married her, or a woman cheated and the man still kept her in his house. It's hard for him to forgive, and it's hard for a woman to forget. Those are actually facts about who we are, but we are not aliens to one another. And that is why we have our dean to continue to help us in taking our decisions. Another fact. Have you seen where the daughter of a rich man falls for the driver or the security? Do you know why? Women are attuned to what they hear. Look, that their mumu button, that emotional connection is somewhere in their ears. So all you have to say is, honey, you look so pretty. You are sweet. Oh my God. Come home that night, you are eating your best food in the night. It's a guarantee. But that she takes the effort to go and do one fine hair, to sew one fine clothes, and you just walk away and say, now today, you will come back and you will see. So women are attuned to what they hear, which is why in lectures like this, you see most women, really. I don't know why we are having a tie today, but really mostly you see women like this. Anything a woman hears, she can keep, she can understand. But a man is what? Connected to his sight. His own body is connected to his sight. That's why he will see one girl dressed in skimpy clothes, boobs revealing, bum revealing, and he goes, wow, 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 she's pretty. When the dean asked to lower your gazes, it was for the brothers. When the dean also asked us to adorn the clothes upon ourselves and look, it was also for the brothers. Because your weaknesses are in your eyes. They are in your seeing. And for the women, it's in your hearing. Which is why, when anybody comes, that's why you see again, Islam is so beautiful. When Allah talks about not having that free mixing, free relationship with the opposite sex, it's because of this. Sometimes you think you're not cheating on your spouse, but you're having an emotional connection with the third party. And they're telling you sweet things. Even they call you Umu. Umu. You look really pretty today. Oh. Then you laugh, you giggle. At that point in time, you stamp it down. Because you're already leaving the person with access to your Momo button. And that Momo button should only be left for your spouse. So, may Allah help us. Second fallacy. Yes, like I said, marriage is a battlefield. But on whose side? You are both on the same side. It's not a battle of men against women. It's a battle of us against the shaitan, because the shaitan told Allah, when Allah cursed him and sent him out of Al-Jannah, he said, I will stand in the right path. He didn't say I will just come and distract mankind. No. And so because of the blessings in marriage, know that it will perpetually and constantly be a battlefield. But it's not against your spouse. Neither is it against your in-laws. It is against shaitan. And if you know your emotions, if you're able to control it, If you're emotionally intelligent, sweetheart, sisters, you can conquer your in-laws. You can conquer your husband. You can conquer any battle that comes upon you in marriage. Third fallacy, women are gold diggers. In fact, I see this and I laugh all the time. And I tell people in Islam, there is no such thing as gold digging. One of the 4 criteria for picking a spouse is what? In Islam, if you want to choose a spouse, what? Wealth. His wealth status. So Allah gives you that permission. There is nothing like a gold digging woman. It's non-existent. But I mean, if she's there, she presents herself and she wants your wealth, what is she bringing to the table, right? Perhaps that is now our question. We're going to see what the women bring to the table. So whether she's there for your wealth, or there for your name, or there for your fame, or there for your knowledge, if she doesn't bring what she's supposed to bring to the table, you always feel dissatisfied. But please, there is no such thing as a gold digger. Love before marriage, another fallacy. Something that has destroyed us for centuries of entertainment untold. Every Nollywood movie tells you the star actor must fall in love with the star babe, and they must be the most handsome and prettiest in the movie. Yes, they have shown some where they try to kill some of this misconception. I can see you smiling. If I tell you, tell me your ideal man now, tall, 6 packs, right? All of that misconceptions have been imbibed in us for too long. There is nothing like love before marriage. Remember when we were defining love? I told you love is not a feeling, it's an action. So there is nothing like love before marriage. Love is not a precursor to marriage. It is what, you see, there is a battle, and it is real. And they use the media to propagate this battle. It's a mental and psychological warfare. And if we can destroy them at the heart of where it matters the most, the family, then there'll be a lot of catastrophe and disasters in the land. So when they sell the preconception to you that love is a precursor to marriage, it's a fallacy. For how long does it take you to fall in love? So if it takes you 10 years, you'll be dating a girl for 10 years. If it takes you 6 years, you'll be dating a girl for 6 years. If it takes you 2 years, you'll be dating a guy for 2 years. It's all ridiculous. Love is a product of marriage and not a precursor to marriage. And that is why our parents were taken from their homes, grandparents, a young girl taken, go to marry the father. And those marriages lasted longer than what we are having today. Because we think we are looking for love. Love is not a feeling. You can feel it in some way, but it is not a precursor to marriage. It is actually the product of marriage. Whether you like it or not, if there is mercy, everything you do, your husband forgives you. Everything you do, he overlooks it. He shows mercy, he shows compassion. You will fall in love with him, even if he looks like, I'm not going to say, but right? And no matter what your wife looks like, she shows you care, she shows you attention, she rubs your bald head, she rubs your pot belly. She's not asking you for 6 packs, right? You come back, she's massaging you. You will fall in love with her. So please, let's disabuse ourselves of this love before marriage. Love is the product of marriage and not a precursor to marriage. Sex is all men want. How many hours in a day can you have sex as a man? Even with all the aphrodisiacs, with all the drugs that you would take, right? Even if they say, oh, Guinness Book of Record, you have a man who has sex 24 hours of 24 days. You cannot have 24 hours, 247. So it shows that what sex is not that important. It's overrated. And it's overrated for the same things that have pushed the ladies to think about love for marriage. Movies, the things we watch. Everything pushes you to sex, sex, sex. Somebody is advertising a car. They will carry a girl in skimpy clothes doing like this. Please, what is the girl's business with the car? She doesn't even know. If I tell her, show me the girl now, she doesn't know the girl from the steering. So what is she doing advertising for a car? If anything, you want to advertise a fan, girls. You want to advertise it, girls. If they are not doing that, they are showing men with muscles, sweating. It's also ridiculous, pushing you to nonsense but zina. Men crave three things. And please, if you have never given this a mental thought, please think about today. When you go home, think about it. And in this order, men want respect. And you can respect them 247. Men want food. And men want sex. But sex is the last of it. A time will come where you cannot have sex anymore. But you will eat and you will crave respect from your spouse. In fact, respect in the way you talk to them, respect in the way you serve them. It's not just by saying, oh, it's my husband. He knows if you respect him. Because there's respect changing every action of yours. It's not just when there's a third eye looking at you or when you're in public. So RFS, in that order, respect, food, and sex. So all these fallacies are prejudices. They make you prejudiced against what marriage should be. And when you have a wrong conception of marriage, please, how can you get it right? Sometimes somebody will say something from their own experience. And this happens with all these motivational speakers, some churches, pastors, and the video goes viral. And somebody says something, oh, it makes sense, wow. And you go and start applying it. You see, some of these things might work for some time. They might work in some homes, but they can never work in all homes. And I hit my chest to tell you at any point, anytime, Allah gives you the absolute result, the absolute solution to everything that is needed and everything that you need to make your marriage successful. So somebody came to my house the other day, and I was serving them. So the glass cup fell and got broken, right? And it was really pretty glass cup. I really love that glass cup. And so he was telling me, he said, oh, I listened to this lecture where the pastor was saying that you serve your guests with the best dishes, and you serve your husband with the old broken plate. And I mean, it made sense, right? Did it make sense or not? So it sounds like it makes sense, right? You want to be Oga, you want to be God now, your wife should carry all the beautiful dishes to serve you. But guess what Allah tells us? What did Islam tell us about guests? About visitors? They are what? Say it, huh? You should treat them like God. They should be honored. And if Islam tells you that, let me explain to you. It is the pride of your husband that when a visitor comes, you are able to serve that visitor with the highest honor. And that is the same reward as the visitor is leaving your home that the Malaika showers upon you. There's nothing wrong, please, and don't get me wrong, right, with treating and honoring your husband. But then, please, to say that, oh, you are giving the best to your husband and not the best to the guest, it is not Islam. It is not Islam. No matter how beautiful it sounds or look, it is not Islam. And I'll tell you, but we don't have the time. But these things can have, problems, can have branches and branches of problems in different settings in different homes. Next slide, please. So, this is an assignment, and it's a personal assignment. I want us to take it home. We need to do a SWOT evaluation of ourselves. If you are in working class, you will have heard of SWOT. SWOT is your strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats, which are intrinsic and extrinsic to you. I just put this here as examples of the attributes. So, what are your strengths? Oh, my strength is that I'm a working class woman, meaning I can contribute financially in my home. I cook delicious meals. If my husband tastes my meal, he can never eat anywhere else. My strength is that I am patient. No matter how annoying my wife is, no matter how annoying my husband is, I can hold my tongue. I can hold my temper. What are your strengths? This will help you to understand your emotions. What are your weaknesses? I know I'm lazy. If my life depended on it, I can't even wake up at 5 a.m. if not for Fajr. If my life depended on it, I can't do this, I can't do that. Another weakness, I talk too much as a man or as a woman. Another weakness, I get angry easily. Any small thing, I flared up. What are the opportunities to make this marriage successful? Some people say, oh, I have rich parents. We can inherit them and then we can live happily ever after. Some people say, oh, Jackpot, we can Jackpot together. I have a brother there that fight for us. We go to US and our life is perfect. Oh, what are the opportunities? We do things together. T, the threats. What are the threats? Polygyny. Some sisters don't want to hear this at all. You hear polygyny, say, please divorce me. Yes, so they hear that is one greatest threat. But let me say this, as a sister who is in polygyny, and part of the benefits, and let me tell you that I have always looked forward to polygyny. In fact, as a single lady, I think 95% of the time, it was only married men that asked me out. And the way we have practiced polygyny for so long is why some sisters are really scared and skeptical of it. And some brothers are not emotionally mature, emotionally intelligent enough to manage 2 women in a home. But please, if you are above 30, you are above 35, there is no single guy that you want to marry that will be responsible. What's he doing at 40 that he's still single? He must have some problem somewhere. And so if you are waiting for one sister's husband to die or one sister's husband to divorce her, because it's only divorcees and widows that will be single, please think again. Polygyny is actually a solution to our societal ills. Some people say, well, your husband, he has the different girlfriends outside, I don't mind. But when they say he's bringing in a wife, you mind. Please, let's be realistic. Threat, polygyny. Threat, anger. Threat, envy. Who are you talking to? I saw that name on your phone. I saw that Zafira. She keeps calling your number. I saw Idaya's name on your phone 20 times a day. I saw that message from this and that. You just kill yourself and give yourself BP. Even if your husband does not admire a woman outside, he cannot control the woman not to admire him now, right? So this word is for our personal consumption. It's going to help us to understand our emotions, to understand who we are, and how we control the emotions. Okay, next slide, please. Aha! What's your emotional code? I'm not sure how we can see this. I thought this was going to be clearer. I wanted us to do this exercise to help us identify, maybe we're even the bad guys in our marriage. Yes, now. Sometimes you are the one misbehaving, but because nobody has said it to you, simply because you are the CEO in your company, you are director in your organization, nobody can tell you that, you are the firstborn in your family, you are the breadwinner, so nobody can tell you are doing wrong. So you never realize that you are actually the one who is abusing or who is oppressing your spouse in your relationship. So if you do this exercise, it's supposed to actually take us through the way we react. So let me just quickly go through it. If you can see it, you can snap it. Micah should be able to arrange to send this to you. But the first one says, when my spouse shares a problem, I usually do what? A, try to fix it quickly. B, listen quietly, but feel unsure what to say. C, feel deeply what they are feeling. When my spouse shares a problem, I can tell exactly what they are feeling. And D, I get overwhelmed and I change the topic. And a lot of men like doing this. They get overwhelmed, discard it, and they just change the topic, right? But so also a lot of women. 2, when we argue, I tend to speak my mind firmly, even if it hurts him, I don't care. I've said my truth, and that's what matters, right? B, shut down or avoid the conflict altogether. C, try to understand their side and make peace. I even want to know what's making this woman angry, what's making this man angry. And D, I hold on to the pain for a long time. It hurts me so much. I feel like my heart is bleeding within. 3, my emotional triggers are usually caused by A, feeling disrespected. I don't like the way he spoke to me in front of the way he spoke to me in front of Abu this, the way he spoke to me in front of the children, the way he spoke to me in front of the neighbors. I feel that he has disrespected me. So my emotions are triggered. B, my emotional triggers are usually caused by feeling ignored and not valued. Everybody wants to be loved. So if I show you love and you walk away, I'm angry. Feeling emotionally disconnected. No matter what I do, I just can't seem to reach him. He is always seeming so distant, so far away. So if I cannot reach him, tell me, how can we even begin to make this work? And finally, my emotional triggers are usually caused by being criticized and misunderstood. Number 4, when I feel emotional, I usually express it directly, maybe with anger. You know, when you are so emotional, you are talking, you are shouting. You don't even realize that you're shouting. I keep it in and I hope it passes away. Because I just don't want to talk about it. I'm emotional right now. Let me just hold on to it. All those people that are holding on to emotion, they say, oh, pent up anger, pent up emotions, pent up this one, pent up that one. I reflect on it and I try to talk about it later. Then she'll come, honey, we need to talk. That thing that happened at so person's party 5 days ago, I didn't like it. I just said, let me bring it up. Right? Another style, I get stuck in my feelings and I can't move on. I'm so stuck, I can't forgive him, I can't forget about it, and I won't move on. Why? I saw that he received a text message from Halima saying she loves him, and he didn't rebuke it. He said, I love you too. You hold on to it, and your heart starts paining you. 5, how do you describe your connection to your own emotions? You must be attuned to your emotions. You must understand it. You know when you are getting angry. Maybe you go out, you see the way Abu is smiling with that sister, you are getting angry. Sister, what will you do? Walk away or go and meet him? So I know what I feel and I express it fast. As it's coming, I know it's irritation. I'm telling you, I'm irritated by what you're doing. As the feeling is coming, I'm telling you there and then, I don't care. I'm mad at you. This is what you did. I don't care who is there, I express it. Or I find it hard to explain how I feel. I'm just frustrated. So I'll be talking about everything and anything, but I don't talk about what? The matter at hand. I reflect deeply on what I feel and why. Honey, this is how I feel. It's what my father used to do to my mother. It's how my uncles used to bully me. It's how my exes 1, 2, and 3 treated me. And I said, no man will talk to me like that again. And finally, my emotions often feel too intense to manage. So every time anything happens, I always feel like I want to explode. Every time something happens, I feel like I want to burst. Every time something happens, I feel so mad I can't control it. Next slide, please. Now, if you're able to answer all of those questions, and you have mostly A's as your answer, your emotional type or code is the reactor. You react without necessarily passing through that thinking capacity. You're reacting as the emotions are being produced, as the hormones are being released. You're reacting. You don't even give it time to simmer down. If you're mostly B's, you're the butler. You always suppress your feelings. You will not know yourself. Nobody will know your real. People come, they don't know you. Everything you do is bottled up. They are talking to you on your face. It doesn't show whether you're happy or you're sad. Everything you do is bottled up. C. Some of your answers are C. You're an empath. Being an empath means you are deeply attuned with your emotions and the emotions of others. You know yourself. And because you know and recognize your emotions, you can also recognize it in others. And finally, D is you're an absorber. Emotions hit you hard. So hard that every time it happens, you're just disappointed. How can this do this to me again? How can I fall for this week again? But I'm stuck with the person. So this is to identify emotions. Next slide, please. And now the Islamic code, which is the key to unlocking our emotional intelligence. Who has not read? Assalamu alaikum, the brother. Yes, can you read for me? Quran 30:21. Brother down there, your back up with the phone in that brother. 21. Surah to Rome.
Of sight is I created for you from yourselves. This I define tranquility and placed between you affection and blessing. Indeed, the data science for a people who give thought.
For a people who what? Who reflect. For a people who think. In that translation, love has been replaced with affection. Like I was telling someone today, I say Arabic is such a beautiful, very beautiful language, can mean a million things. So that word there is not direct mahabba, which is love, but it can be love, it can be affection, like he said, right? And so this is our Islamic code. Once you want to get married, this is the Islamic code. That Allah has placed what? Mercy and affection or love between you, that you may attain, you may dwell in what? Tranquility. If your marriage is not a place of tranquility, you are doing it wrong. Your husband always wants to close late from work. Your wife always looks for one journey or something, an excuse to be out of the home because there is no tranquility in it. It is wrong somewhere. In tranquility, we look at equity. And I kept saying this because I'm coming here, right? In Islam, a man's equity, whether he has a good name, whether he's popular and has power, whether he has money, or whether he has knowledge. A man's equity in marriage is provision. And this provision is also tied to his pride, tied to his ego, it's tied to his emotions, it's tied to his happiness, his joy, whatever. Once a man can provide for you financially, he can provide your security, and can also bring spiritual provision. He's contented. I was saying a joke, I said, man is broke. You know that he becomes irritated, he's angry, he's frustrated, because you have come to say there is no meat, there is no rice, they have not paid salary. He's frustrated because he cannot provide. His inability to provide is what brings about his frustration. But once he can provide, he has got his equity to the table. For a woman, whoever you want to be, president, minister, senator, whatever you want to be, you will have failed in your duties in bringing your equity to marriage if you cannot bring about your care, maintenance, and sustenance of the family. And so everything will be feeling amiss. And where there's an imbalance in these two, there will be no love, mercy will be hard to come by, and of course, there will be no tranquility. But where these two are able to come, like in mathematics, these are precursors to these constants, love and mercy, that would always bring about tranquility. That will always bring about tranquility. Once there is love, there is mercy, it will always bring about tranquility. Because you'll be merciful enough to understand that, this man, they have not brought salary. Even if there is no meat, let us manage. That's mercy. It's not only the man that shows mercy to the woman also shows what? Mercy to him. And that's what brings about the love. Okay, it's gone off. All right. And finally, that tranquility is a source of your satisfaction, fulfillment, and contentment in a home. And my husband used to say this, and he says, sometimes you can be satisfied, but you are not fulfilled. You can be satisfied, you eat, you are satisfied, but you're not fulfilled. Something still feels amiss. Where there's tranquility, you have everything. You feel contented. Even though you are living in a 2-bedroom rented apartment, a 3-bedroom rented apartment, you have tranquility than the people who are living in mansions. Marriage is not in quantity, it's in quality. It's not about how much you have. It's not in competition. It's in about completing one another. It's in about completion. That even though your husband has not been able to provide for you and you've not eaten breakfast, you come out, you smile, alhamdulillah. Not that, we've not eaten since morning, no, don't mind that useless man. He has not provided. So may Allah help us, each and every one of us, for those of us going in and for those seeing. So let's look at the Islamic code too. Next slide. Okay, Islamic code part 2, the key to unlocking emotional intelligence. And we're looking at this as emotional intelligence as a spiritual tool for stronger marriages. And the first one is for Allah. A lot of us do not marry for Allah's sake. And if that is not your bedrock and your foundation, I am sorry, you have started on the grounds of failure. If you don't marry for the sake of Allah, you can't even have mercy. Don't you understand? That mercy and that compassion comes from the fact that you have married for Allah's sake. You're doing this fi sabilillah. It's not because she deserves it, oh. It's not because he deserves it, oh. By her actions, I should have given her talaq, I should have divorced her. But fi sabilillah, that tawakkul, you totally rely on Allah, that for everything that is a flaw in my spouse, Allah, you will correct it for me. Or Allah, you will help me accept it. Sometimes they are just crap, you know. You start by saying, okay, I want to get married. He must be A, he must be B, he must be C. You have all that long list. Have you ever done a checklist for yourself, what you must be to deserve somebody with all of that checklist? Have you ever decided the kind of woman you must be to deserve the kind of man that you have all that checklist for? Are we realistic? So me, I tell people, I say one of the dua I used to pray is to say, Ya Allah, give me a spouse who would tolerate my own shortcomings and my flaws. Because I know I have plenty. I know I have plenty. You have to start telling me. And then whose flaws and shortcomings that I can also tolerate and accept. So when you do it for the sake of Allah, everything seems easy peasy. I didn't say it's going to be an easy journey. I didn't say it would be a smooth shaitan that's older than you and I and all our grandfathers. I made a promise that come and do what? Destroy it. So you must be ready for the battle. Now, any marriage whose foundation is not for the sake of Allah will fail. There's no way to sweet talk this one. It will fail. or you will perpetually keep having problems. Then you'll be looking who will come and intervene. You make money for, what do they call them? Therapists. Who again? Counselors. Who again? You know them. So you make money for them because you haven't put Allah as the foundation of your marriage. Mercy and rahmah. The capacity to be gentle and compassionate will always yield love. Beauty and the Beast, who knows it? I know, you don't mind that. She likes watching all those romance things. Don't spoil your head though. Beauty and the Beast. If the Beast can fall in love with Beauty, it was because of what? Her gentle and compassionate ways. And there's a beast in every one of us. Right? Where that time where our common sense is not working and we just want to act. But with gentleness and compassion, you know, where there is mercy, where Allah's rahmah is, we can always overcome. Second item for a successfully and emotionally intelligent marriage. Tranquility, sakina, the utmost form of peace. See, Allah didn't say, you see in all the translation, you rarely see in Surah Rum, Quran 30:21, which is our marriage code, 30:21. You would hardly see where any interpreter of the Quran uses that word as peace. They always say tranquility. You can have peace. Peace is like here. Peace is the junior brother. Tranquility is like here. Because it's peace at heart, peace around you, peace within you, and peace from you. That is tranquility. You can't give what you don't have. If there's no peace within you, you can't give peace to someone else. If there's no peace around you, you can't bring about peace anywhere you go. So that tranquility is what we must strive for. That when we close our eyes in the next 2 minutes, we are falling asleep. We are not tossing and turning in bed for 2 hours because there are too many things that are troubling us. 3 and 4, respect, ihtiram. And I talk about respect, right? It's spoken in tone, it is shown in action, and it's valuing each other, even in disagreements. I saw something where somebody said, if when you are fighting with your wife and she starts calling you Olori Ibu, or she starts saying Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi, or she say, hey Mr. Man, know that the power bank of your marriage is remaining 2%. So I laughed. I now called my friend. I said, did you see this? She said, I said, what if she starts calling you Olori Ibu? She said, the power bank still low. Allahu Akbar. So, respect. That's when your husband I know you say, honey, you're looking for my trouble. I don't like what you're doing. Now they still say, honey. You know, there's that respect there. So, respect. Understanding and awareness. Fam al-nafs. Understanding and awareness. You understand your emotion. You are aware of your spouse's emotion. Then you learn how to what? Regulate and manage yourselves. Knowing your own feelings and being sensitive to your spouse's emotional states. Understanding and awareness. Fahm al-nafs. Very, very important. It will help you in your workplace, outside of your workplace, with extended family members, and of course, most importantly, with your spouse and even your children. Effective communication. It's in the context and the content. My father used to say that there is a way you tell somebody to go to hell and he'll be looking forward to it. It's how you tell him. See how Shaitan will come. He won't just come and tell you this is hell, come, let's go. He will sweet talk you into it. Effective communication is very important in marriage. I wanted to come for this program. If I just go and say, honey, you cannot say no. You know I'm going to this lecture for Islam. I will not be here today. But I went to him And I told him, I said, honey, just imagine Aziza Mohammed Adangba. Everybody will see your wife giving lecture there. In fact, before I was done, I knew that I had won it. So effective communication, the content and the context of your conversations. You find the right time and you find the right words to use. The right time and the right words. You know when your spouse is most happy or most at peace. Honest yet kind dialogue, expressing your needs without blaming, and of course, listening without judgment. I want to tell you something. Don't jump to the worst conclusion now. Listen. And even after you have listened, give them the benefit of the doubt. Correct them with gentleness, like the Rasul was the best to his family. And finally, excellence. To do the best always. Allah says he has created us in the best form. And if Allah has says that, it means that the ability to be the best version of yourself is within you. Nobody can bring that out of you. But it's not, it just doesn't happen by magic. It's a conscious decision and a deliberate effort. It's not a passive thing that happens just because you are 35, you are now excellent and responsible. Just because you are 50, you are now excellent and responsible. No. It takes deliberate action. Deliberate action. How do I want to be better? You read about it, you learn about it, you watch about whatever it is you need to do. Always strive to be the best version of yourself always. Applying wisdom, patience, and sustaining beauty in your manners. Even you too. Nobody needs to tell you ours, right? You know, we said our feeling is not from the heart, so it's our brain. When you do, you see baby Nadia. If Nadia has been potty trained, or Nadia's mom has told her, Nadia is just a year plus, and she says, don't do that. The very day Nadia does that thing that the mother says don't do, that very second, she knows it. In fact, she knows it before she does it. By the time she does it, when she sees her mother, her face will change because she to see what reaction the mother would give. So we don't need anybody to tell us. That best version of yourself lies within you. You know your flaws. We cannot see. We only see this finished version that you want us to see. This fine boy version that is all clean, wearing fine clothes, sisters looking pretty and in colors. If your flaw is those clothes have not been washed for 10 years, only you know that. And that perfume is masking it or whatever, right? So we know our flaws. We are the only ones that can work on it. And we're the only ones that can be the best versions of us. Okay, I think next slide. This has brought us to the end of this. Oh, so this is not too clear, but it says Islam is a beautiful religion. If practicing Islam beautifies one's character. If it's making you intolerable, impatient, and grumpy, then you're doing it wrong. Islam beautifies our character and our behavior. It makes us the best version of ourselves. But if you find yourself perpetually grumpy, perpetually intolerable, because you are not perfect, can't be judging people all the time, right? So if that your Islam is making you grumpy, it's making you impatient and intolerable, find out which version of Islam that one is. So you are doing it wrong. And so, inshallah, we have come to the end of this lecture. And I say Jazakumullah khair for your attention. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And takbir. Please have a seat.
Permission to go.
Please have a seat. Thank you so much. Can we please recite Surah Al-Kahf for our sister? May Allah continue to bless her. May Allah continue to increase her in knowledge. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yes, I have left her here because people are agitated. They want to ask questions. Am I right? Yeah. Good. So people will ask questions.
Okay.
And we have till about 1:30 for questions and answers.
Yes, I
So
was
we have
timing
about-
myself.
So questions, raise up your hands and take by questions. Like she did the road job very well. Don't worry. I know my usual people, they will always ask.
Communication or understanding.
Which is more important, communication or understanding? Please, what do you want to communicate if you don't understand? Right? So, like I said, communication is about the content and the context. But if you do not understand what you are saying, what are you even going to say? Okay? So, you must first seek to understand before you can be understood. Allah says you should know Him first. And the first instruction, the first word of the Quran He gave the Rasul was what? Read. So you must seek to understand first. It is when you have understood that you can now communicate what you have understood. If you don't understand what you are feeling, what do you want to tell your wife? Or what do you want to tell the person you are frustrated with? You make the person as frustrated as you, because you just be beating around the bush without saying anything. So please, understanding is key. Seek to understand, then you can be understood. Next question. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Two questions. Thank you for everything. The very first one is marriage is more to everybody. I don't really know that.
Now,
Okay, there are some partners who are exceedingly and extremely difficult to deal with.
now,
Probably they don't have that mindset that, okay, I must, I'll be with their force to it. So how do you do it?
okay.
Then the second one is just of this business.
Okay.
They touch it and I know I've been apologetic about it to our sisters. They see it as something very, very difficult to really adhere to. So these are my two questions.
Okay, so let me start from the second one. Men are, okay, so let me even start from the program that happened last week, and then the host of the show is right here, a woman and more, Dr. Yemisi Adola. Thank you very much. So when I was out of mischief or what, she put my husband and I on the same panel, but before the panel, right, he was a keynote speaker, and my husband was speaking. I didn't sit at the same table with him. I was seated on this table with this, I think, like a pastor and some other people. So my husband was giving his lecture, and then he said, men are honored slaves. So that pastor flared out, was like, I don't like what this man is saying. Why will he say that? Did this? So he now turned to me. He saw I wasn't responding. He said, Madam, don't you agree? I said, that's my honored slave. And everybody kept quiet. So it is true, men are honored slaves, right? But what are we? Okay? If they are honored slaves, to get a man to be your honored slave, you must first what? Serve him. And there's honor in it. Please, sisters, please forget it. I just said something. You can be the president, you can be the senator, whatever you are. You would always feel like a failure as a woman. Nobody has to tell you. If you're unable to do what? Bring care, maintain your family, and sustain your family. So this word submissiveness is an English word that actually belies the action of what a woman brings, that equity she brings to the table. Okay? As you are submissive to him, sweetheart, he is submissive to you. The policeman who puts a prisoner in the prison, he has to be there. He is also in prison. No? To keep the prisoner there, he has to be there. So if he is a slave to you, you have to be a slave to him. It's common sense. It's logical. So please, let's disabuse ourselves of these notions that Hollywood movies have waged this psychological battle and war on us for so long. It is not submissiveness. It is mutuality. If he serves you, then you should serve him back. And in fact, I see competition sometimes between my husband and I. So look, when he does for you, you do for him. Next time he wants to do back, you too, you will do back. And that's what it is. And mind you, if it is bad doing, He does you ika. You want to do ika back. May Allah help us. So yes, it is not, there is no such thing as like you're being submissive. He's serving you. You should serve him back. If you see it in that manner, then there's nothing you're fighting. You know, there's nothing you're contesting. I remember I told a friend who was having some problems with her husband. I said, look, kneel down. So her husband stopped eating her food. I said, kneel down and beg him to eat the food. She said, me cannot kneel down for him. I said, if you cannot kneel down for him, madam, just go and carry your divorce paper and come and sign. Why are you reporting to me? Do you understand? So the thing is this, when you kneel down, who can see your knees? Who sees it? But you have earned something from him that he would have to what? Pay back. That you kneel for him today, he will kneel for you tomorrow. That I can guarantee you. If you kneel for him today, he will kneel for you tomorrow. I told you, I said we are like mirror images. Whatever you can receive, you can give. But you cannot expect what you cannot give. So when you're even talking about this submissiveness, how responsive are you to your wife before you require that level of submission? It's a win-win. Oh. It's a give and take situation. Now, I decided to address this first, and then we go to the next one. The next one, because it's pretty a sad situation. Sometimes we are dealing with demons from the past of our spouses. Remember the brain, the part that saves the memories. If your wife or your spouse has undergone a sad and a painful childhood, and they are unable to forgive and let go, I pray that it does not reflect on your marriage. And it is almost hard. You know why? The place where that memory is lying is the place where the emotions are lying. So for you to touch the emotions, you must touch that bad memory. You see, the bad, the sad, and the mad memories are recorded in the same spot that the love memories are recorded. I did an experiment in a class one time, and I asked people to tell me their happiest memories, right? And people were scratching their heads, they were thinking twice. And one smart woman quickly got up and said, oh, when I had my first baby, I said, your second baby wasn't the happiest moment, you know. But it's hard to remember the happy moments. This is how it depends on how you wire your brain, and it plays tricks on you. I'm not ashamed to say it's not because of lack of having, but I have never had a social media account. And the only social media you probably catch me on is WhatsApp and LinkedIn. And these are because they are for professional purposes. Now, if you're doing business on your social media, please, I'm coming back somewhere, right? If you're doing business with social media and you are spending 20 hours on it, you're not wasting time. It's an investment in your business. But if you are there just for the stories, to laugh, gossip, and respond, react, you are wasting away your life. And that is what these things, I see them designed to do. And remember when I told you that you are a product of what you feed yourself with. So if that's all what you are consuming, that's all what you'll be bringing out. In fact, you forget reality from social media. The way you respond on social media, hashtag idiot, hashtag this one, that's how you'll be behaving in reality. You won't realize that you're a mad person. So please, I hate to be the one to break the bad news to you. Okay, so coming back to what we're saying. He talked about women. Is marriage for everybody? I would not say yes. I would not say no. You can marry at any age until you die, except Allah has not written it for you, your qadar. But the misconception to think that I can do it on my own, I'll be a baby mama, whatever, I have somebody to inherit me, all these things are not intrinsic or natural thoughts to us. They are borrowed ideas. And these are products of the things that we have consumed, the things we have watched in movies for too long, the things we have seen in movies for too long, the things we have read in books, the things we have borrowed from other people's culture. And the funny thing is, they want to borrow our culture of Islam that they see as a thing of beauty. And we are there admiring the kind of rubbish that they do. So, you see, I tell people that everybody desires for what they don't have. So if you came from a poor background, you think money is everything in life. You want to sell everything just so that you can be omolowo. Everybody will bow when they see you. It will not bring you satisfaction, it will bring you contentment, and it definitely will not bring you fulfillment. If you don't have love in your home, you'll be craving all kinds of lovey-dovey movies, you'll be craving romance out there and everything. It is what it is. You crave for what you don't have. So to say, is marriage written for everybody? I cannot say that. Nobody can say that. But you can only strive. Because why? I've told you that Allah would never prescribe to you something that there is no goodness in it for you. When a woman marries, it is half her deen. So no matter how terrible she is, she already has C. If C is like third or fourth heaven, she has made it because she stayed married. So vis-a-vis for a man. So should you strive to marry because you want to make Al-Jannah? Absolutely. But is marriage written for you? I can't say. But whether marriage is written for you, whether we must marry, you are the one that will decide that you want to marry, and you are the one that will decide that you want to stay married. You know these things differ, right? And like I told you, there are so many things that come to play. Neurolinguistic programming will tell you that there are certain childhood trauma that remain within a person that makes them afraid of taking actions in their adult life. And that's why I told you, the center in your brain that keeps your mad, sad, and bad memories, it stores it in the same place where it keeps your love memories. So back to that class, it was not easy for them to remember the good memories. When I started asking the bad memories, everybody had stories that wanted to outdo the other. Oh, your own? It's just that your father and mother died when you were 5. That one is small. My own is this. They killed me. I woke up. See, the bad memories are always in abundance, and it's very easy for your brain to reach out and remember it. So it takes a conscious effort to stamp it down. This is not what I want you to remember. Stay hidden and stay hidden forever. So I hope I've been able to give you at least shed some light and an understanding into what you're inquiring. All right, thank you. No more questions. The brother has run away. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
My question is, are couples supposed to be friends? They are meant to be husband and wife.
Are couples supposed to be friends, or are meant to be husband and wife? So the first thing is that we're not using couples. we're talking about married. You can put married couples beautiful. Are they supposed to be friends, or are they supposed to be husband and wife? What is husband and wife? Companionship. You see, when Englishman comes and gives us plenty of words, they cannot define it. They can define it, but they cannot justify it, right? It makes it easier. It makes it easier for you to have compassion and mercy with the person you are with the person that you have a companionable relationship with. So you must create it, right? Your husband might not be your best friend because you have decided that your sister is your best friend, because you have a best friend somewhere, or because you have decided that your mother is your best friend, so that's the person you can tell everything to. But you can make your spouse your best friend. You can make them your friend. If you have a relationship, I don't know what you mean by just husband and wife, because that husband and wife is that companionship. And that companionship has friendship in it. It must have mercy, it must have love. And how can you do this? Try to start doing things together. Eat together. Have a walk together. Pray together. When you are praying, there is nothing you cannot pray to. There's nothing you cannot pray for about your spouse. Anything you don't like and you want Allah to change for you, there is nothing about your spouse that you cannot pray about and you cannot pray for. So maybe you have not gotten to that point in your relationship. And this might not be about you. Maybe again, your husband is not enough women because of experiences he's had. If you were here in the beginning, you see when we talked about the brain, right? So again, it all goes back to the interpretation of what he thinks. So if from his own relationship, he had a father who was also mature and was always coming home and was mega, he give instruction, everybody follow, he thinks that that's what a home should be. So he's ashamed that, how will people see now that me and my wife, we are giggling, tickling, and playing? It might be that. It might be that he's not been exposed to this point where he thinks that, oh, if I show her teeth, tomorrow she will disrespect me, so I don't want to be friends with her. It might be that. So this one that is already disrespectful by you, if I start playing with her, see finish, our lady, do you understand? So again, it's a win-win thing. This is what brother talked about, understanding before communication. Understand why you are not at that point with your husband. Because if you can get to that absolute point where you are having sexual relationship with your husband, that's the absolute of yourself. I don't see why you cannot give every other part of yourself to him, right? But you have to learn it. Like I said, it's a conscious effort. It's not something that happens passively or automatically. It's not. It's something you have to work at. So you seek to understand the kind of person that he is, you can win him over. All right, Assalamu alaikum.
You mentioned that understanding is key. Okay, so what if the issue is not being communicated? How do you
If the issue is not,
the other partner not communicate what is happening to the husband or either the wife? For those that like to bottle up their emotions, their issues, their mental and all of that, for the other partner to handle it, how will the other partner understand what's going on?
so before you have time to feel that your bottle of emotions up, because we know your type, you like bottling up things. If your husband is attuned to your emotions, sometimes you don't need to say it. He can tell that you have gone quiet, that you have withdrawn. You know, he can tell that something has changed. And it goes it goes the same way. You can tell when your husband has withdrawn. You can tell when he's quiet. You can tell. Do you understand? Except you don't want to make the effort, you just want to ignore it. The truth is that when you are emotionally attuned to a person, you can tell when they are emotionally withdrawn, when something has changed, when that frequency has lost, the signal, you can tell. And so don't wait and keep it aside. Then another one happens again. That's when you start bottling up and you say, oh, his cup is filled, and you want to explode. So as soon as you recognize that something is amiss, even if they cannot tell you what it is, you can walk back because you will remember the day he started holding back. I noticed this behavior 3 days ago. I noticed this behavior 2 months ago. I didn't want to say anything. And it was around the time that Timmy visited us, when he broke that your cup. Is that what got you mad? So you can help your spouse articulate their emotions because you are attuned and you can observe and you can help them identify the point in time when that thing started to return, whatever it is, the change that you must have noticed. Yeah. And sometimes it might not be about you, right? And I said something earlier on. Sometimes at that time of the month, it's end of month, it's approaching, the husband is broke, and then he knows that there are bills to be met, he's naturally irritated. It has nothing to do with you. But if you understand that each time that point of the month comes, you are prepared. Or you keep your own savings and you have vex money for the days that your husband's finances are low. Okay, so inshallah, I believe we have come to the end of this session. I hope that there are no more questions. There is online. Oh, okay.
Okay, so the question we have here says, can the way a person is brought up affect his relationship with his spouse?
Let me see. Oh, yes, can the way a person is brought up affect his relationship with his spouse? Yes. You know, I just talked about latent memories. The way a person is brought up absolutely is actually what defines and shapes the way you react on your day to day. It's not the one that you watch from movies and you borrow, but the way you watched your father treat your mother, the way you watch your mother serve her husband, you know, all those things, the way a child is brought up. And mind you, sometimes we parents, we talk, and if care is not taken, we talk carelessly. You are angry and you want to now advise a child on your anger mode, and you go and say something to a child based on the anger or based on the fight you're having with your spouse, and that child will take it and store it in their memory, and the child will believe that every woman that marries you has married you for money, and if care is not taken, she will kill you so she can inherit you and you will die in time. But guess what? There's a mistake that we make as parents. Please, when you're angry, refrain from involving the children. It is not their business. Right? It is, especially when they are, see, children are vulnerable, and they are vulnerable to our words. Sometimes we leave children with words. When we die, they hold it as the holy grail. Mommy say, I can never marry an Igbo man. Daddy say, I should never marry a Hausa lady. You know, Daddy say, if I marry from Ijebu, from his graveyard, he will curse me. He's dead. So, you know, these are things that we actually abuse our children with without knowing. And they grow up, it's there in their memories and they act. And then when I talked about advising children in the heat of anger, when you and your spouse make up, you don't go back and tell that child, don't mind what I said, oh, it was in anger. You know, your daddy and I have made up, your mommy and I have made up. And I see this a lot happen, especially in broken homes, in homes with divorces. Every parent is trying to win the child's good favor and good side. And so they are pandering to the child in any manner possible. You're only causing futuristic havoc for your child. So her innocent husband will now come just because mommy has said that any man that challenges you, don't agree for him, oh, because next thing you know, he will punch you. Next thing you know, he will beat you. So that seed that has been sown, you know, if the mother seed was this tiny, the seed that has now been this big, the child will perfect that seed of dishonored husband, and it will be this big by the time she's marrying her husband. It's a problem already. There's nothing you want to say sometimes. There's no amount of lectures you want to hear, especially if that mother has died. Because sometimes, you know, that conversation between a child and a parent, they hold it to heart like a sacred promise. And you don't want to go against what your parents have told you not to do. So yes, the way we bring up our children has a long way to play in how the child gets to act in their own marital home. Okay, so is that the last question? Now?
Is that the last question? Okay.
Last, finally, alhamdulillah.
There's another question.
I know.
What are we going to again?
Alhamdulillah, nobody knows tomorrow, nobody can see tomorrow, it's only today we know. So they want to put me on the spot. It is only my husband that can give me that permission. I have sense, so I have sense.
I can see that you are stylishly redirected me to our show.
MashaAllah.
I'll deliver your message.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullah khairan. I must say that I have learned a lot. even as I'm not a young married person, but alhamdulillah, a couple of things here. She's always been my teacher, but she denied it. I know, she
See,
will say something now. Don't worry.
I have to turn on this mic again. Please,
So,
let us disregard anything we hear on this floor. I'm done talking. Just not coming over. Hurry for your time, your concentration, and your cooperation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, from here, I will call on my sister, Sister Latifa Awinola, to round up the session, from which, when we leave here, we go to our solar, just outside there, the African Center has water. We do our ablution and have our solar.
Permission to call out?
Permitted.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for your time. Assalamu alaikum.
Sister Latifa Awinola.
Thank you very much, Jazakallah khairan to our speaker. We really appreciate you, and we've learned a lot. And we all here can agree that we've taken one or two from what she has been saying so far. So I want to remind you of
Before you go, say so.
the old microphone, first and third Sunday of the month. And this month, we'll be having another microphone on the this month. Sunday to rejoice with us, to celebrate with us, to keep the brotherhood together. Thank you very much for your presence today. Jazakallah khairan. Allah ESA and guide us to our various destinations. Thank you so much for your presence. Assalamu alaikum.